Hello, everybody. It's me, Roscoe, and welcome to another live video because Ipswich Town have made their fifth signing of the summer, and he's a keeper. It's Arijanet Muric, who signed from Burnley on a 4-year deal. I'm joined by AJ, the Young Guns, bringing you a live reaction on that. AJ got reported over the weekend that Town were close, and they've signed, sealed, and delivered the Kosovan international.
That was such a slick intro. I
Oh,
loved that. Wow. Yeah, this one kind of came a little bit from nowhere, I thought. I think there were a couple of whispers maybe in the hours leading up to the report that came from The Athletic, which then pretty much said deal's been agreed and it's done, which was a real surprise. And the other surprise to me was that the reported fee is quite low. The one that David Ornstein went with was 8 million, with add-ons maybe taking it to around the 10 million mark. And I know that on kind of from the outside, you can look at it as a goalkeeper who didn't play too much in the Premier League, and you can understand that as well. But I think that was a pretty controversial decision last season, and one that a lot of Burnley fans didn't really like. When you look at what Muric has done in a Burnley shirt, all in all, there's a lot to like, I think, in terms of his contribution to the Championship title-winning campaign, in terms of what he did do in the Premier League with. I mean, there'll be those kind of mistakes that get highlighted, but when you're a goalkeeper, it's either the extreme or the horrible moments that get focused on. And a lot of the time, we don't get to maybe appreciate just all the work that goes into being a goalkeeper, especially in a really attack-minded side. Burnley tried to take that approach. Well, they had it in the Championship and they tried to bring it into the Premier League. Town will probably try and do the same as well. So he's going to be used to that. He's going to be used to having the ball at his feet, playing out from the back, and looks like a really strong shot stopper as well. Only 25 goalkeepers can play till they're in their 40s. So you're looking at someone who really could be playing for another 10, 15 years, which is ridiculous. Some similarities, I'd say, with Vaz for sure. But yeah, really like this one.
Yeah, me too. And this is just a quick little message to Adam. Hi, Roscoe. Hi, Alex. Hope you're both well. We're very well.
Very well.
The,
Thank you,
the
Adam.
weather has got it's got very hot. It's lovely sunshine here in sunny Suffolk. Sunny Cambridgeshire, Alex.
Cloudy Cambridgeshire. It will get sunnier, I'm sure.
I'm sure indeed. Let's talk then about Arrow. Was they called it? What they called? He's known as Arrow. Yeah, Arrow.
Yeah, that's the one.
I think that's what I think a lot of us will call. That's like Vaz. We just called Vaz, didn't we? Vagclab. We're not going to call him Vagclab, and you know the rest. But yeah, obviously been at Burnley the last 2 seasons. Came through the Man City youth ranks. Born in Switzerland, but of course won 38 caps for Kosovo. It's the second Kosovo international Town I've ever had. Of course, Bersen's Lena was the original. But yeah, as you mentioned, AJ, 25. He's 6'6". Once again, you can watch all the highlight reels. But what do you like about him as a player?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things to focus on that we spoke a little bit with Liam Delap is that if you're a player that has come through the academy at a major academy, especially one like Manchester City, and you can think of plenty of players that have gone through City's academy and gone right to the top of the game, then you've got to have something good about you. The loans that he's had in general, I mean, there have been some where he hasn't been able to play that much. And as well, when you're a young goalkeeper going out, you hear a lot of Forest fans, for example, saying, "Oh, he was really poor with us." There are a lot of, if you go back to when Burnley announced him, there are a lot of Forest fans saying, "Well, why have you signed him?" He was probably about 21 at that point, being thrown into one of his first loans at that kind of level. He's gone out and he's kind of cut his teeth a little bit more. You can see it there. He's gone out to NAC Breda, my former local team. That's really weird. Forest, Girona, Willem II again in the Netherlands, and then Adana Demirspor. So there's a lot of kind of a body of work now compared to when he went over to Nottingham Forest, or even, to be fair, when he went to Burnley. He came in as someone that had only gone out and had these loan spells, never made a league appearance for Manchester City. Then has gone and worked under Vincent Kompany, who has very strong ideas of how football should be played. I think it gets thrown in the deep end a little bit there. Gone in, been part of a title-winning season, played in the Premier League. I think he, as I kind of said on the pod as well, you need to be a little bit crazy to be a goalkeeper, and that's what I really like. And you can see it with Vaz a little bit. Like, you can't overthink things. You can't be spending too long making decisions. It has to be almost like an impulsive thing. Ball comes to you, what are you going to do? Are you going to turn your man? Are you going to kick it long? Are you going to pass it to the defender on the left or the right? That shot's coming straight at you. Are you going to dive to the left, dive to the right, dive to the... It's always about thinking on your feet, and he seems to really kind of fit that a lot. So that's what I like about him. Obviously, like his age profile fits exactly what Town want, comes with the experience. And as has been mentioned in the comments a little bit, Burnley fans are a little bit upset about him moving on. I think they can understand why he's gone, but yeah, you could understand why they're a bit frustrated about it. And usually that's a good sign of getting a good football player.
Yeah, and two very different seasons, haven't he? Has about Burnley. You know, the season before last season, he helped them win promotion to the Premier League. You know, 101 points, something like that.
Yeah.
Last year, different story. James Trafford comes in, good a bit of money. He starts the season. Then Muric comes in for the last 10 games of the season where Burnley were trying to fight to stay up, and of course they went down eventually. So he's got a little bit of Premier League experience, AJ. And maybe that's a good thing for us. That at least he had that 10 games to play, and then now you'd think he'll be our number one.
Yeah, I think that's realistically the way that we're looking at it. I mean, we can touch on the goalkeeper situation in a minute, but the moment Town have 3 goalkeepers, they're back up to the 3. This is a replacement for Vaz. We'll obviously have to wait and see what happens with Kieran Slicker, who's mentioned about going out on loan, and with Christian Walton, who I think we'd all probably like to stay, but he's not going to be the number 1 at Ipswich. That's quite clear, and the club will have to respect what he wants going into next season, which I think is the last year he's got on his contract. As for Muric, yeah, it's been a little bit of an up and down one, hasn't it? Because I'm sure he would have felt on top of the world being part of that Burnley team that won 101 points to win the championship title. That's remarkable. To go and do that, regardless of what the competition was like, the winning mentality that they had. And you know, coming up into the Premier League as well, I think it was always going to be quite difficult for them, given the style of play, given the fact that this wasn't like Burnley of previous years. They came in with quite high expectations, spent quite a bit of money, and it just proved to be a little bit too much for a manager that didn't have that work behind him. So you've got, an experienced goalkeeper there in terms of having played in England for quite a long time, working under a manager as well, maybe a little bit different to company in the fact that McKenna has worked in the Premier League. It's always been his ambition to get back up there. So it's not like the pair of them and the other signings are kind of going in totally fresh. And the other thing that's quite interesting as well is we spent a lot of time looking at potential signings, thinking, well, could they look abroad? Are we looking in Spain, Germany, Italy, whatever? And that's something that I'm sure Town are looking at. Absolutely certain that they're going to be investigating those markets all the time, looking for talent, looking for good deals. But probably a little bit more than I expected. The focus has been on the domestic market still. It's been on the Championship. It's been looking at other deals in the Premier League. And although sometimes you can pay a little bit of a premium, you do also get the fact that these players that don't have to come in and acclimatise to a totally new environment, that can be quite hard, I'd say. So really, really good that they've got that with Muric. He's not coming in, so something totally new, rather. That'll be a really big help for him.
Yeah, in the green room, we were chatting about potentially he probably knows Liam Delap and also Kieran Slicker, who obviously were at Man City before. I've got a birthday in the chat. Thomas Kelly said, "Oh, what a birthday! Unreal
Happy
new
birthday.
signing and KOA live pod." So happy birthday to you, Thomas. Happy birthday to also Brandon, who celebrated his birthday yesterday. So happy birthday, boys. Hope you're happy with the new signing. Let's talk then, AJ, about the goalkeeper situation as a whole. Obviously, Vaz, we know he's left. He's a free agent, still without a club. As of this recording, I don't think there'll be a news dropping right now and he's signing for a new club. Obviously, Kieran Slicker, as you mentioned, potentially going out on loan, maybe in Scotland or where he ends up. Obviously, Walton, that option was taken on him. You see in the behind-the-scenes footage, you know, Walton is leading that sort of goalkeeping warm-ups with obviously Henry Gray, the under-21s New Zealand goalkeeper. Do you think there'll be another signing in that goalkeeping department?
Just depends on Walton more than anything, because I think with Kieran Slicker, if he is going to go out on loan, I'm not necessarily as sure at this point that he will, because we had a lot of news that came through on that. Hibernian, I think St Johnstone, Kilmarnock, teams like that had been linked. He's obviously a Scotland under-21 international who's their first choice goalkeeper. So again, he's someone that actually is getting to play some regular minutes at a decent level, I'd say. But he'll obviously want to go out and play regularly. But the fact that move hasn't really progressed, we haven't heard too much on it, it does then become a little bit more interesting. Do Town want to keep him, knowing that they can have that as a set unit, or potentially that Christian Walton moves on, and they don't just want to knock everything down and start again? That won't be easy. And then, as I said, it's going to be a case of looking at what happens with Christian Walton. That's a tricky one as well. You have to respect what he wants, because it's all well and good saying, we'd like you to stay. We think you're going to be a good backup to have at Premier League level. But he has to make a decision whether he wants that, whether he wants to go and move somewhere else and become a first-choice goalkeeper. He's not played a league game in over a year. And he always looks like a little bit rusty when he's come in, and that's not his fault. It's just because you need to be playing football to be at your best, and he's not really had that. So he's got a decision to make there as well. There definitely is the platform for another goalkeeper to come in, but have a look at Henry Gray as well. That'll be an interesting one to follow over the next few weeks. Pre-season will be a time to assess him. He's not obviously going to be, let's be honest, he's probably not even going to be Town's backup goalkeeper going into next season, but is there that chance that if Kieran Slicker wants to go and progress his career on loan, maybe Gray could step up to become that third choice? It's all about finding the right balance there.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you, Adam, who gave me a belated happy birthday. So thank you very much. And yeah, big wishes to you and the lads, definitely at KOA. Should we talk then, AJ? We're going to do one more thing in a second as well, looking at the kits, because we've got a little tease of the goalie kits. But what next then? Goalkeeper ticked off, potentially another goalkeeper in the pipeline. But what's the next position, do you reckon?
It's interesting when you look through the whole squad, there are probably a handful of positions that Town could go and strengthen. Do they want to go get cover for Leif Davis? Probably. Do they want to maybe have a look at another striker? You could argue that there's the platform to go and do that as well. Depends how much money is going to be left in there as well, knowing they've not managed to get the Philogene deal done. That was 18 million that they've now not gone and spent. So the two that you're looking at in terms of the priorities, definitely midfielder. At least one midfielder that you think that they want to go and get someone to cover Sam Morsey and probably to play alongside Sam Morsey. So you can bring Massimo Luongo in and bring Jack Taylor in, just have that freshness there as well. But you want probably a different option to play alongside Sam Morsey, maybe you'd say as a regular starter. It's a bit ruthless on Matt, isn't it? But I think that's the way it's probably looking. As I said again on the pod, I'm a massive fan of Ben Sheaf. Fingers crossed. We'll have to wait and see. I think there'll be quite a lot of interest in him. We'll have to wait and see if Town are one of those clubs who could potentially test Coventry to sell him. And as well, then you're looking at the wingers. I did a piece this morning that had a look at potential wingers that Town could sign with that Philogene deal that has now collapsed. They're definitely going to be in the market for that if they were looking at Philogene. The versatility is going to be key. Can they get someone who can play on the left and the right? You're looking at Hutchinson, for example, who could do that. They're really good players to have, and Philogene had that. So definitely someone who can play on the left, I think, is important. There's quite a few who can play on the right now. Those are the two positions that I think are going to be top priority. But I think, main target will be midfielder.
Yeah, there's a few comments saying they want midfielders. They think that's what's next. James has said, any more signings imminent today? Don't think so.
No.
But you never know. Anything can happen, but I don't think so. AJ, nothing?
Not that I'm aware of, unfortunately. I think it would really have to come from absolutely out of nowhere. It's been interesting that we've had another midfield link, obviously, with, oh, God, I can't remember his name. That was Tanner. I was the one who did the story.
Tanner Tasman.
Testament? Yeah, something along that. I'm doing this off the top of my head here, but yeah, it's been interesting that maybe we've had another midfielder linked to. The only one that I can remember before that was Lewis O'Brien at Nottingham Forest. So I said, if it's me, if I'm in the charge of the recruitment team, I'm putting all my chips onto Ben Sheaf. But I think we might now start to see a few more midfielders linked with the move to Portman Road. I think that is the area that they need to strengthen, and it'll be interesting to see who is on that target list for Town.
Definitely. And Thomas Kelly, happy birthday again, my friend. He said, obviously, the signings we've made so far have been class, but does our scouting network go behind the championship? And you mentioned that earlier, AJ. Obviously, domestic currently is what we're going for, but I'm sure the club are still looking maybe internationally, but European teams. But at the moment, it's just championship.
Yeah, I mean, it's players who've got that experience. It's players that Kieran McKenna would have seen play last season. He's a huge fan, for example, of Liam Delap. You're looking at the left-footed market in terms of the centre-backs, and Greaves is probably the standout, one of the standouts, I'd say, in Europe in terms of the profile that he's got. But then look on the other side of that, and I know it's probably really the one example, albeit that Delap came from City and Hutchinson came from Chelsea. You then got Ben Johnson, who comes in not from the Championship, but from the Premier League, someone who's played in the Europa, who's won the Europa Conference League, he's played in the Europa League, who's started games consistently in the Premier League and played in a variety of different positions. So, yeah, I think that it is. The Championship is an area where if you get the recruitment right, you can find some absolute gems, and you're starting to see a few more teams clock onto that. You look at Gray, for example, going from Leeds to Tottenham, and then there'll be others as well that will get looked at over the next few weeks and months. We have seen in the last few windows, but they're not going to be ignoring the European market. You can see it with the links that have come out. I'm not saying that everything is 100% truthful that has come out, but they're definitely exploring that market. And I would be surprised if they totally ignored and didn't sign anyone from outside of England before the end of the transfer window.
Okay, then. Watch this space, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to quickly end the live with talking about the goalie kits because they were teased. Obviously, we can't really see much of this one where Muric is holding the shirt
It's
up.
yellow.
It's yellow. Obviously, the three stars. Then this was actually the picture they teased for the signing. And you can see it in all its glory. It's pink. And yeah, very jazzy indeed. I like it. What your thoughts on AJ?
Yeah, it's not too dissimilar to the colour of the top I've got on at the moment, actually, looking at it. I like this. So the guess that we've got probably is with the fact that the away kit is kind of maroon, I'd assume that the pink goalkeeper kit is going to be the home goalkeeper kit and the yellow one will be the away one. Umbro seems to go with kind of templates, don't they, when it comes to the goalkeeper kits? They change it year on year, so I assume this is going to be the template for this year. The yellow one, from when I could see it there, looked like it was kind of a bright yellow with slightly... Can you see there's almost like dark yellow?
Yeah, do on the shoulders.
Yeah. So maybe that could be the pattern there. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully we'll get a better shot of those ones. But I like the pink. I think you can always be a bit braver with goalkeeper kits, can't you? I mean, as a Cambridge United fan, the goalkeeper kits also done by Umbro are absolutely mental, to be perfectly honest, some of the ones that they've done. So you can be a bit braver. I am a fan of them.
Yeah, I like them too. And yeah, I'm sure the club will release them more and more, where you can buy them and stuff. Obviously, they're breaking records with the home and the away kit, and I'm sure the third kit will be on its way at some stage. But yeah, Town's fifth signing of the summer is Arijanet Muric. I tried it.
You got it right in the intro.
I did, but
then it kind of went a bit...
I'm just now just chilling. Just chilling. But any other business, AJ? Before we wrap up, just five in the door, early doors. Arianet will. Oh, I'm butchering it again now. He'll head off to Austria, obviously today for the training camp. They're playing Shakhtar Donetsk on Saturday, but they're getting the business done early. Obviously, there'll be more throughout, I'm sure, this summer when they come back. For the Dusseldorf game, they're going to head out to Germany as well.
I thought you were going to swear when you butchered that name. I was really worried. Yes,
no.
Arijanet Muric.
I'm
professional. Yeah, exactly. Arijanet Muric. Good to get him going over to the training camp quickly. I think he'll get some minutes against Shakhtar Donetsk over the weekend. And as we've said, it's good that they're getting the business done early. It's good that they're showing the ambition. I think quite a few fans have been surprised, both Town fans and rival fans have been surprised about the money that has been spent so far, breaking the transfer record to go and get Amari, bringing in one of the top talents from the Championship in Jacob Greaves, going and getting Delap, who's had a really strong season despite the injuries and is really highly rated. Ben Johnson, who's been linked to a lot of Premier League teams and established sides and got offered a 5-year deal to stay at West Ham, has come and moved to Town. Shows the ambition there. That's really, really exciting. Sure, there'll be more to come, but as well, the ambition and the fact they're getting this done early. They want to bed in the players. They want to make sure that they know how Kieran McKenna wants to play. They've now got these games coming up. I'm sure that, as I said, we'll see some more before the big kickoff against Liverpool, but getting them all settled in with these games coming up, these friendlies, the Austria training camp, the Germany training camp, the games, the Dusseldorf game, the Nice game. Really important.
Indeed. Well, thanks for joining me, AJ. Thanks everyone joining us live once again. And hopefully next time we'll be live is another signing. So bring it on. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week. And we'll be back very soon. So bye for now from me and AJ. See you later.